Let's talk for a second about something that's not a whole lot of fun, and that is depression and anxiety. Two different things, but they often get linked together. Depression is basically a sense of hopelessness. It is a lot of typically anger that has been turned inward. It's sort of unprocessed frustration and emotion that we're not, things are not the way that we would like them to be. We've gone into a sort of like an internal lockdown, safe mode. So my heart goes out to you. I have spent way too much of my life in that state of depression, so I totally understand what it feels like. But I want you to understand that frequencies speak the language of the nervous system. And oftentimes trying to talk about what is frustrating to you can really be very helpful, but sometimes it can actually make the frustration more, especially if in our human mind, in our limited capacity to understand God's biggest picture for us, it can sometimes just stir the pot and make us even more sad and more depressed if we can't work out why this is happening or what the solution is. And so the depression, I made two different soundtracks for the depression remedy. One is the long version. They're the exact same soundtrack. One is just simply each different frequency. It's like a 5-minute version. So you're getting a deep entrainment on that frequency. And then the quick version is everything exactly the same, but it's a 90 seconds of each frequency put together into a shorter soundtrack. I have used this soundtrack personally and really been amazed at the results. At one point, I didn't even really realize I was depressed, which is great because oftentimes depression is pretty severe and lasts a very long time. So this was a mild dip into depression, but I just couldn't really put my finger on what I was feeling. I knew that I didn't feel good. And I listened to just the quick version of the depression soundtrack, and before the soundtrack was even over, I found myself thinking bright, positive things. Oh yeah, it's not so bad. I can do this. When we're able to speak directly to the nervous system, that's the 95% of us that's in charge. It's what is dictating that we go into this place of depression, which is a healing phase, so that we are healing from some kind of emotional trauma, just like we heal from a physical trauma. So we know that if we have an injury to a knee or an ankle or something, that logically we need to rest. We need to take it easy, probably prop the ankle up on pillows, temper the swelling, use ice, all the different things, and really baby that part of the body while all the resources of the body are there rebuilding it. And the same thing happens to us naturally when we suffer any kind of emotional trauma. The body will go into calm, inward focus. And in order to do that, it often has to send us signals of desperation and don't be out there mingling with friends, and turn your focus inward and go inside and go into this type of energy that is like the seed under the ground, waiting and waiting and waiting for the perfect time to sprout. And so depression often comes to us in times of transition, in times of change, when maybe the world as we knew it became different, and it's our time to go in and recover. So if you are in one of these phases, remember it's only a phase, and the sun does shine and the seed does sprout and life begins anew. The Depression Remedy soundtrack can really help the healing process on all levels. I hope you are shining bright and loving yourself unconditionally all through your process.